We're here 10 years now. And 11 years ago, when we were living in West Palm Beach, Florida, if you said to me I would be in Mississippi, I would have said, no. If 11 years ago you would have said to me that this became home and as a safe place for my heart, I'd have said, no, not Mississippi. But we came up here on a business venture. When we got here, my husband used a word that he's never used, and he said kismet. And kismet is a Yiddish word for touched by the hand of God. So when he said that, and that's not a word that he uses often, I said, fine, let's move. Having been in Oxford for 10 years, I've managed to build a delightful practice. I do massage therapy. I'm trained in cupping, now that everybody's fascinated by it. I'm trained, I just finished my master's in acupressure. So I continue on with my education and my certification so that when I work with a client, I'm able to give them a broad range of tools to help their physical body. A lot of what I do with my women or my clients is we talk about what they can do to help themselves. A lot of people are fascinated with the use of essential oils. A lot of women, and I'm grateful to Southern Oasis, we've sponsored some classes, and teaching people how to bring these things in to help with their own health care. Some of the other things that we like to teach are secrets hidden in the spice cabinet, so people can understand the herbs and spices in their home were originally the medicine that we use to stay healthy. Where we try to stay with today's practice is in a layer of flexibility. If someone's not comfortable with essential oils, there's other tools that we can use. Main thing is helping someone figure out how to get their physical body, their emotional body, and their spiritual body kind of lined up. Because any one of those areas are out of order, it opens the door for disease. And disease can start with negative thoughts, not just physical ailments. So where we are right now is dealing with human beings that are excited about learning. We're dealing with people here in Mississippi who want to be empowered and not necessarily go to the doctors and take more pills. We're dealing with young mothers that want their children to be healthy and want to eat good foods. Someday I think I'll write a cookbook called Chickens Don't Have Fingers. And learning how what goes into the gut affects what comes out of the brain. Garbage in, garbage out. If you're not putting good food in, you're going to be emotionally out of balance. Emotionally out of balance opens the door for addictions and other issues. So our goal here in Oxford is to continue on, stay on the path. We've got some great people that we work with, and realizing that the more we can teach people to help themselves, the better it is all the way around. Dr. Annie originally came from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was raised by off-the-boat Italians and off-the-boat Irish, which made for a wonderful bowl of granola. Fruits, nuts, and assorted flakes. That's my family. We were always raised with a very natural point of view on life. When we got sick as children, we knew Nana, or grandmother, had something in the kitchen that would make us feel better. Having said that, grew up in Philadelphia, always fascinated with natural medicine, moved to South Florida and put that away for quite a while and did a lot of corporate work. Until one day I woke up and realized that who I am at the soul, what I wanted to do as a woman, was not being fulfilled by being strong in the corporate world. So I jumped off of acupuncture physician and jumped into naturopathic medicine, which really gave me a broad brush for working with people. When I finished school, I got into kind of roaming around the community and seeing what was needed. Having come from a family where we had some addiction issues, I was up at Hanley Hazleton, and all of a sudden I realized that you're taking people out of addiction with coffee, cigarettes, and candy bars. But you're not giving them empowerment skills. You're not teaching them to communicate with their body or understand their stressors and what tools they could use to prevent relapse. Because relapse is not strictly about using the drug. It's about behavior patterns. So in 1999, I started a company called Integrated Health Solutions of Palm Beach. And we broke into Hanley Hazleton, doing empowerment, Color Me Healthy. One of the classes was called the Watermelon Seed, which was really about adults finding their inner silly, their inner willingness to stand on the porch and spit the watermelon seed out and not be serious. That got me into Crossroads in Antigua, where I wrote 2 programs in '03 And Crossroads is the recovery center for Eric Clapton's people, or in Antigua. And I wrote first Recovery, then Rediscover, Reconnect, and Rejoice. And it was about understanding that recovery is God's way of giving you a do-over. Recovery is not a bad thing. It's now learning the tools you need so that you can negotiate with life on life's terms and not be afraid of it and not hide and not be embarrassed that you went through some rough times. We all do. Who I am now after being in Oxford for 10 years is I'm a very proud grandma. I feel like a woman who's had the opportunity to infuse into many lives knowledge and support. What we don't realize is there's a lot of women here that want to feed their children healthy food. There are a lot of people that don't want to jump into automatic medicine. They want to try and help themselves feel better. With my husband, he is 85, I'm 65. We went through some cancer issues. Having said that, he's a really good boy. He does his juicing. He does some of the herbal therapies that I'm working with him on. And we are now getting our third biopsy back with being totally clean. So what I know, and I've always known, is that the human body has the power to heal itself. The human body has the power to reverse problems. Here where I am in Oxford, I see a lot of mothers, I see a lot of women who want to eat the right foods, who want to find out how to stay healthy, what it helps the immune system, what prevents their kids from getting chronic illness. So they're really willing to learn. They're really willing to bring on things that'll help. What I have learned is that it has to be done gently. Where I can be very, quick, throw the baby out with the bathwater, I've learned I can't make someone throw out all the white bread this week. But we can motivate them into making gentle, simple changes that they'll see the difference within their family. We can't put people in a place where they feel judged, but we can put people in a place where they feel supported and they're getting the information to help themselves. A lot of young women here in Oxford are home mommies and homeschoolers. They want to learn about essential oils. They want to learn about the use of, let's say, goat milk over cow's milk. They want to learn about healthy diets for their children. And that's very exciting. They're very willing to do the work. They're very willing to make the bone soup. They just need someone to guide them through it. What's unique about Mississippi is we may not go to the same church and we may not agree philosophically about certain things. But if, God forbid, you fall down, your neighbors are the first to show up to help you. We went through a personal tragedy in '09, and I honestly don't believe we would have come through the other side as well as we did if we were still in Florida. Mississippi had a soft net under us. It was loving, it was comforting, and it was making me say, wow, don't let anybody else know. I don't want them to come here. I don't want them to share it. But Oxford is probably that diamond in the state. I've learned going in other areas, it's still got some rough edges. But Oxford is like a lotus. It's in the muddy sand and it's blooming. And when I came here 10 years ago, it was pretty homogeneous. You pretty much knew where you were. But in the 10 years, we have seen different ethnic varieties coming in. We've seen a melting pot of people. I mean, think how powerful a community is when down the road there was a tornado. Everybody jumped. When there was a tornado before Christmas, everybody jumped. Didn't matter who it was. Quick, go buy Christmas presents. There's kids that don't have anything. In South Florida, I went through 3 hurricanes in 2 years, and you're pretty much on your own. You had a few friends or neighbors that, you could commune with, but it was not that same energy that you have here. So even though there are weaknesses in what we know as Mississippi, there are very subtle strengths that allow us to remember we're living in a good place. My father used to say something, and I never really understood it until I got older. After his heart attack, he threw everything out. He went pritikin, he went jogging, and he used to say to him, Daddy, you've changed everything. He said, I could have died with that heart attack, and God gave me a second chance. So I have to show God that I'm going to take care of my physical body, so that when the time comes for me to meet him, he'll be willing to take care of my soul. If I don't show him I'm taking care of my physical body, I can't expect him to take care of my soul. And I understand that now. Many of us do very strong spiritual practices. Many of us will meditate, but we're not taking care of our physical body. We may be doing this in lieu of, but it has to be in concert of.